Hello everybody, it is Euronews After Hours, day 3 at COP29. How's it going, Giorgia?
It's going great, actually. We're actually getting more and more insight about what's going on behind the scenes on a day-to-day basis. And on the third day, we can definitely say that we know more than day one.
Yeah, for sure. We're learning. No, but we're learning as also you've got to learn your way around this place and try and understand what's going on, understand how to make things work, even just technical stuff. Although I find the technical people, we're in the press centre here, they're great. I pressed the help button earlier and 3 guys turned up within about 10 seconds.
Yes, they are. They are great, actually, and they help me with my computer as well, because obviously, as TV news reporters, we are under a great amount of work on every level, whether it's like editing or recording, and our devices need to be absolutely in good condition.
They do. No, and we struggle sometimes with the tech, but anyway, we're getting there. And so what's been going on today is we've had more leaders' speeches. Pretty much has been what you would expect from the people who are from rich and developing countries, giving the same kind of points of view you'd expect to hear, the talking points from the European Commission about moving towards net zero, really needing to roll out renewables, etc., etc. We've had people from the developing countries saying we need to have finance, we need to have investment. I was talking to one of the key negotiators from Uganda earlier today. He was saying loss and damage needs to be implemented. We need money coming in so we can actually do something about the droughts and the floods that they're facing. Lots of the African countries I speak to, they say drought and flood, drought and flood, drought and flood. I just chat to them in the lift whenever I see them. That's what I get. You've been talking to the small island states, right?
Yes, I have, and I think as we are actually moving towards the end of this first week, I think the focus is now shifting to the hot topics, and one of them is actually small islands, small states, the poorest nations that are on the front line of the climate crisis, and they are really the key actors and players here at this COP, which is all about finance, as we said. I spoke to Island Innovation, which is an organization that represents several small islands in the Caribbean, and it's been interesting to talk to the president of the organization, who told me that what's their concern and what they're trying, what they've demanded, and what they would like this COP to be about. So the big issue is poorer nations want more money, really. So the whole question is about money, whether they'll get what they want, which is an increase in the number of, in figures really, or not, it's yet to be seen. What they do know, though, it's that, and this is very interesting, and I like to highlight this, is that even though many try to sort of play down this COP, saying that probably the outcome won't be as successful, while they say that for these small states and islands, this is the only time they get the chance to speak and to actually be under the spotlight and be considered and be listened to when it comes to their needs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this guy from Uganda was talking about the fact the polluter pays principle and how that needs to be there. And that's one of those things that's come from environmental campaigning from years ago. You know, that moved up the agenda, and now it's something that's being discussed at these levels. So they do manage to shift the needle and move things in their direction. What's frustrating is the speed. I've been reporting on net zero. How do we get towards net zero? Is it actually possible even to get net zero? Some people would say it's going to be a massive challenge, but the people I was interviewing from the IPCC, I was talking to Bertrand Piccard, who's a kind of famous innovator and promoter of new ideas. They're saying, yes, it is possible, but the more time we waste, and we've seen that fossil fuel consumption is going up, fossil fuel emissions is going up, the more time we waste, the more expensive it's going to be. Again, it comes down to cash.
It does. And another highlight from today actually is the agreement signed, the statement really signed by the High Ambition Coalition, led by the Marshall Islands. Now, this is very crucial because they have reaffirmed their climate commitments, and part of the people, a big chunk of the people who signed today are EU leaders. So they definitely want to show that they stand with these islands and they stand with their demands. And this is something that we have also heard from EU representatives here, and as well from other EU leaders today. We heard from Edi Rama, Albania's Prime Minister.
Soon to be EU leader, he hopes, anyway. Yeah.
True, absolutely true. But he's already speaking as if he was already part of the EU. And then we heard from Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, which, and I have to say, on the Italian side, media side, there's been a lot of criticism about what she said on the use of nuclear power and in particular fusion. She mentioned that, which is very controversial, because we know that in order to be able that as a source of energy, it takes a lot of time. So lots of hot topics, but indeed the main issue is finance, which will be dominating as well tomorrow's agenda.
Now, we've been very serious up until now, but I also want to talk about some of the fun things that you get to do here at COP, and mingling with other people is fascinating. You bumped into a tribal leader earlier with the great, feather headdress and things. I was actually talking to somebody on the bus who was from this region, although she's actually Iranian, but she was telling me that apparently on the metro here they have a song for each metro station. It's a very lyrical country. They love poetry, they love singing. Apparently there's a special song for each metro station. Did you know that? Are you kind of engaging with the local culture a bit on this stuff?
There's something about you bumping into people like outside the venue, which is amazing. And that's really what COP is about. It's my first COP, but I have to say that you meet incredible people. And it's like a small, like a world, a mini world united. And yes, I've met some interesting people today. As you said, this sort of like a tribal leader who's obviously here as an observer, so meaning that he represents a tribe that actually lives in the Amazon. Lots of things, lots of talking points. But tomorrow there's going to be just another highlight on the fun activities that we get to see. Some activists actually staging a protest in front of the main venue, and this is something that we were actually quite missing, right?
Yeah, we have been missing that. I mean, I actually spoke to one activist who said that they've been controlled in terms of what they could write on their pancarts. They had their banners and things, so that had to be checked with the local authorities here. She'd actually managed to overcome this by integrating her protest into her clothing. It was like sewn into it, embroidered into it, so there's nothing you could do about it. That was what she was going to wear. But yeah, no, quite controlled when it comes to that. But good. I'm looking forward to a bit of a protest tomorrow, because it has been quite quiet. I'm actually talking to city mayors tomorrow, and we know that that's such an important topic at the moment. How are they managing their climate change adaptation? I'm going to say to them, well, how are you going to move from where you are now to net zero, and while also making yourself resilient to the kinds of things that have happened in Valencia and look like they might going to happen in that part of Spain again. So there's a lot of really interesting topics going on. Actually, in the pavilions, again, really good vibes down there today. It was really, really, really busy. I look forward to more information from the bits of information we get sneaking through on deals and things. We hear about numbers, but there's nothing very concrete. But we're starting to get sort of leaks occasionally, aren't we?
We are indeed. Brazil's NDCs has been published today, so it's the second country after the UAE that has disclosed its details with regards to its national climate ambitions, which is a hot topic here at COP29, together with finance. In fact, the summit's presidency has been advocating for more ambitious and effective plans in that sense. Speaking about, just on a different note, you mentioned local administrations, regions, mayors. So this is something that has to do also with small islands, and it's something that is somehow linked to what Sanchez said in its speech, which is very important. The fact that climate should not forget about the fact that what happens globally is something that is being reflected locally. And some of these climate extreme weather events are indeed related to what happens locally and local policies in Italy as well.
Absolutely. Everybody's got their own climate change stories now, and that's how it's unfolding. So Thanks very much for following us online on Euronews.com. Please check out our social media as well. All of those different channels are covering this. Rosie's doing an amazing job on the live blog, so head over to Euronews.com and have a look at that. You can find out all kinds of information, anecdotes behind the scenes, and the key information you need to know about what's happening at COP29. We'll see you soon.